Welcome back to the Daily Nugget, daily property insights, one topic, 20 minutes or less, 7 days a week. And today, myself, Lawrence Lotze, joined by Andrew Armstrong, a mortgage specialist and a fellow property investor. An interesting question for you today, AJ. COVID has had a bit of an impact on this. Buying property in New Zealand while you're based overseas. So in this example, I'm a Kiwi citizen or I'm an Australian citizen living in some country outside of New Zealand, and I'm looking to invest or buy a property in New Zealand. How would I go about doing
that? Good question. We see this quite a bit, actually. Daily calls, hey, I'm an Australian citizen, living in Australia, haven't been to New Zealand yet, but I'd really like to buy a property here, or some, I'm a Kiwi living in Dubai, for example, or Australia or the UK. How do I go and buy a property here? Firstly, it's reasonably technical, but it's not impossible, and we get some great success there. We've recently actually had, a Kiwi citizen living in Dubai, middle of COVID, very hard to get anywhere, to get anything done, but we were able to get a loan approved for a new investment property in I think it was in Napier in Hawke's Bay, and it took a little bit longer than usual. So he had to allow for the time that it would require to get loan documents verified by a qualified person in Dubai, and then get the originals couriered back to New Zealand. And it's just knowing and allowing for that time, but it's not possible to do. You do have limited lenders who will lend to you, and they will sensitize your income. So in other words, if you earned £100,000 or 100,000 Australian dollars, they're going to convert it to New Zealand dollars, and they're going to apply some sort of discount to that rate. So it's not just going to be a dollar for dollar in most circumstances with a standard bank. Coming back to some of the near bank or non-bank lenders, they may consider dollar for dollar straight use of your funds, but of course they'll charge you a little bit more for that privilege.
So pretty much the process is similar and the same. The only thing is your value gets reduced. So limited amount of banks, and then also the banks that do it will reduce the value that they see in you. So your cash flow and your income gets dropped down to a certain tier. Is that fundamentally the only changes when I'm based overseas?
Yeah, so short and sweet, yes it is. So go through the normal application process, fact find, we have a chat, we have a video call, get to know you a bit more, find out what you're going to do, and then gather that information, send it to our lenders and go, hey, this is what they want to buy, this is what it looks like, this is what they own, this is what they owe, etc. Can you give us some money? Yep. And awesome. Go, we will do that, but these are the hoops that you're going to have to jump through to be verified to our systems.
And the last little question that people are always intrigued about, does the bank, because you're in a little bit unique position, is your rate anything different to a normal New Zealander in New Zealand?
Typically no. So if a bank lender is X amount percent or lenders stated advertised rates, they are normally the same, but be prepared that there may be, depending on your circumstance, be a higher interest rate, depending on it. So again, it's I know that's not necessarily a definitive answer, but typically we look for the exact same parity rates that you're going to get as if you were in New Zealand.
Awesome. Thanks for that, AJ. And to anyone that's listening or watching, as always, if you have a question for myself or for Andrew, the details will be in the description. And thanks for coming over to the Daily Nugget. Daily property insights, one question, 20 minutes or less, 7 days a week. And as always,